Hello guys, welcome back to the AP podcast. Hope you're all doing fine and are ready for today's discussion. But before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and to all our new subscribers, feel welcome. Be certain to like and drop your comments, because remember, we are here for you and because of you. Anyway, today's discussion is specifically special because we're going to be talking about a guy. I know we haven't done this before, but we're speaking about a guy today. And I know that most of you are surprised because you're wondering how could we be speaking about a guy? Well, you better get used to it, because even men have love issues. Anyway, away from that, so we're going to be speaking about a guy whose name is James, and James is a great guy from the sounds of it. And James contacted me and shared his problems with me, and I am going to share them with you, with his permission, of course. And I do hope that together we are going to come up with a solution to his problems, and that way we may be able to help him in one way or another. So James is in love with a certain girl called Tracy. I mean, they have been in a relationship for about 2 years now, and they are happy from the way James explained it. And it so seems that there was nothing wrong with their relationship. And the reason why James contacted me is because there has been a bit of a bump on the way. And I know you might be wondering what this bump may be, and that's what I'm going to tell you right now. So it so happens that there is this young girl who appeared in James' life. And she so happens to be Tracy's friend. The only problem is that James is falling in love with this new girl. And I know that this may not come as a surprise to you, because I know most of you think that all men are players out there, but it so happens that James is not. That's why he contacted me, because he feels guilty and he feels bad, and he's kind of wondering which one of the two should he choose. Should he continue being with Tracy, or should he start a new relationship with Tabitha, which is the new girl's name. Anyway, that's why James contacted me, and he wants us to help him out, figure out which one of the two he should choose. And this is what I have to say on the matter. And remember that you don't really necessarily have to follow my advice. It is up to you, completely up to you, whether or not to follow my advice. Anyway, here goes nothing. So James, if you were to ask me who to go for, Tabitha, the girl that Tracy, the girl that you have been with for the last 2 years, or Tabitha, the girl that you just recently met and knew, I would tell you without a shred of doubt to go for Tabitha. I know that surprised most of you, because some of you would prefer that he stay with the one girl that he has been with for the last 2 years. Well, I don't think that's the right thing to do. But remember, we're here to share suggestions, so anyone can be right. So let's make this discussion make sense to each and every one of us. And this is why I'm going to explain my decision, why I think James should be with Tabitha rather than Tracy. So the reason as to why I'm saying that he should be with Tabitha is because there is no one in the entire world who can love two people at the same time. It can't happen. And so I think that the reason as to why James is falling in love with Tabitha is because he doesn't love Tracy in the first place. Maybe he did at some point in his life, but I don't think he loves her anymore. That's why he's falling in love with someone else. Because if you're satisfied with the person that you're with right now, what would cause you to find attraction in someone else? I mean, it's not logic. And the fact that James is finding attraction in experiencing attraction towards Tabitha, it simply means that he is not quite content with Tracy. See, that's why I think that he should with no doubt go for Tabitha, because Tabitha seemed to have ignited a spark, something that Tracy had not done before. And so without a shred of doubt, I would tell you, James, go for Tabitha. Because believe me, if you loved Tracy in the first place, you would not, and I repeat, you would not be feeling what you're feeling towards Tabitha. You wouldn't, simply because you're in love with Tracy. But the fact that you are having this weird attraction towards Tabitha, it shows that you are not content with Tracy. It shows that you don't love her as much as you should. That's why you're falling in love with another girl. Because if you loved Tracy in the first place, that love would hinder another love conjuring for another person. And that is why I totally think that you should be with Tabitha, because she has awoken something that had been asleep, something that Tracy had not awoken in you. Because if Tracy had awoken that thing in you, it would be already awake. So now you wouldn't be having any feelings towards Tabitha. And so I think that you should go for Tabitha, because it's the logic choice. I mean, you wouldn't be in a dilemma, because you wouldn't be in a dilemma if you loved Tracy in the first place, because you wouldn't have room for someone else. You wouldn't. And if you ask me, I would tell you that the reason as to why you're still with Tracy is because you feel a sense of obligation, a sense of duty, and that's why you're with her. But since the heart wants what it wants, and a person needs some sort of romance in their lives, that is why you're feeling an attraction towards Tabitha. I think that's the reason. And so without a shred of doubt, I would tell you to go for Tabitha 100%. And this is what I think. If you're looking for a sense of obligation, a sense of duty, go ahead, stay with Tracy. That I would give you a thumbs up. Like, stay with Tracy. By all means, please do. But if you're looking for a little something called love, go for Tabitha. Because if you felt love for Tracy in the first place, you wouldn't be loving another girl. And the fact that you're loving another girl doesn't simply means that you're not experiencing it with Tracy. And so there is no need of lying to yourself, because you are, if you continue staying with Tracy, you are lying to yourself. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today's discussion. Remember that all I say is just a suggestion, and it is up to you to make your choice concerning the suggestions that we give you. So if you think that there is anything that James should do, drop it in the comment section below, so that we may be able to help him in one way or another. James, I wish you the best of luck, and I wish that you make the right choice. So I think I gave you what I think you should do. Now remember, it is up to you to choose to do it or not. It is entirely up to you. Anyway, that marks an end to today's podcast. I hope that you got something or a little something or two. Remember that I'm not only speaking to James, but to everyone else out there who is going through the same thing. If you're a girl and you're stuck in between two guys, choose the second one, because If you really loved the first one, you wouldn't be feeling anything for the second one. And if you're a guy out there and you're caught in between two girls, choose the second one. Because, as I said before, if you really loved the first one, you wouldn't be feeling anything towards the second. So that's that, and I believe that I have done my part. So it is up to you to know whether or not to follow the advice. And if you think that there is anything that James should do, and anyone else out there like him, please drop it in the comment section below so that we may be able to help one another. Anyway, that's that, and I'll see you next time. So until then, adios.